folks, here we are. There's old Hank talking about minding your own business. Well, it's kind of a little bit about what Ed was talking about a while ago. We got a lot of troops overseas minding their business over there. If we don't stop this invading army coming across our southern border, them troops are going to have to come home and mind our business.
Well, it was sure nice to have Trump have a win in the UK. I mean, seems like he did a sensational job over there, and is really changing those people's mind. They're finally coming around and comprehending what he's about, maybe even faster than the Democrats here. And then, he came home to a win here, hopefully with the tariffs in Mexico. That seems to maybe that be panning out. It'd be nice to get a little reprieve from the onslaught.
Yeah, but are the rhinos and the Democrats and anybody else,
Ganging
are
up
they
together.
recognizing the win? Are they giving?
I think they're recognizing it. That's why they're running scared, and I just have to say this, okay? I've called Ted Cruz's offices plural, multiple times, okay, over different issues. And this week I called because he ran his face publicly and disagreed with the president instead of privately, and put it down. And as far as I'm concerned, Ted Cruz is on the wrong side of this tariff deal. And then John Cornyn did the same thing. These people, these Republicans need to keep their mouth shut publicly. If they've got something negative to say, go to the president, talk to him. Deal with it inside. Don't be airing that outside. We don't need any extra fuel put on this fire.
Well, and look at what Trump did. Trump weaponized the tariffs. And that's okay because he won. Mexico just agreed to put 6,000 troops on the Guatemalan border to stop some of these caravans. So if what Donald Trump did worked, then what are you fussing about? What are you finding fault with? Look at the results of what he did.
I mean, I don't want
Yeah.
people coming from the Congo. I don't want people coming from all these other countries. I don't want ISIS. I don't want Ebola. I don't want any of the stuff. I don't want to have to pay for all these people, their medical, their housing, their transportation, their food, their diapers, all the rest. We can't afford to do that. I can guarantee you they got more medical care now than I do.
Well, and there's some things that medical care won't help. For example, if they come from the Congo and they bring Ebola with them, all the medical care in the United States ain't going to stop it.
Well, I mean, there was a report, and then I couldn't find anything more about it, that there was 6 cases down Laredo area.
Of Ebola.
Yeah, of Ebola. So, and it was from a reputable person, but it's like been squashed. Anyway, Raymond's on the phone.
Yeah, here's Raymond. Raymond, you going to explain this for us right quick?
Well, I can't explain it all, but I guarantee you one thing I can explain. That theme song of Mind Your Own Business, that should be the theme song of the Democratic Party. I think that fits in perfectly.
Good choice,
no,
Tony.
the reason for my call, Con, is this. When the government first started in its embryo state, it was started off as a republic, as I recall.
Yes.
Okay? As time went on, and I believe it was Andrew Jackson or whatever, how did the Democratic Party come involved, to be a different party? Was back then in them days that was the embryo state of corruption back then until it fell out all these years into the present? That was my question. What was the purpose of the Democratic Party back then? That they had people back then that had their own visions of the country, corruption and not corruption. You have a good day, sir.
Well, don't forget
thank you, Raymond.
the KKK was the police force for the Democratic Party.
Yeah, and that was a little bit before my time, so I don't know what was in their mind back then in those days, but I know that this is a constitutional republic called the United States of America. This is not a democracy. So when I hear our politicians and news people refer to destroying our democracy, those people are so dad blame stupid they ain't figured out that this is not a democracy. It never has been. I hope it never will be. This is a republic governed by a constitution that gives us the freedoms and the liberties and that we all enjoy here. So I wish they would wake up and pay attention and finally figure out that this is not a democracy; it is a republic, people. Uh, anyway, don't get me started on that. But
So,
there's so many things for us to talk
what
about,
about the
and
crazy stuff going on in Dallas?
yeah, look at the stuff in Dallas.
We have that the DA that was a judge there for what 27 years, and now he's decided that they're not going to prosecute anybody stealing anything less than 750,000. I mean $750 per day, as long as, if I'm recalling correctly, it's a staple of life that you need.
Okay, here again, can we add two and two and get four out of it? What is that? What will be the results of his decision?
All those stores
If
pulling up
you're,
roots.
have you ever? I know you've heard me repeat it 100 times, but when you reward bad behavior, what the hell do you expect to get more of, folks?
Well, but then
if you let people steal less than $750 and you let them get away with it
every day.
what do you think their friends and neighbors are going to learn to do? Example is the greatest teaching aid known to mankind. If you let them steal and get away with it, they have set the example. And what do you think is going to happen to all the friends and neighbors and other people in Dallas that want something free?
Well, they actually said something about this kind of being an entrepreneur thing, so they would steal the stuff, take it back to their community, and split it up and or sell it and make it a business of
Yeah.
selling it back into the community.
You are
so then
still
now they're going to be having an income.
well, only a liberal, progressive mind could produce those kind of thoughts.
You mean like AOC, who's scared of a garbage disposal because she's never seen one before?
Yeah, it's.
Okay, and then
But
and
when
then,
are we, the people, going to wake up and resist this with a loud, clear voice? Like in Dallas, why don't the people stand up and tell that fella to go
they didn't do that.
put it where the sun don't shine or something?
Instead, they hired that new woman police chief that's a Black Lives Matter activist, and she had 80 detectives. She's down to 13 because she fired them, is my understanding, and then turned around and got rid of the drug unit, the
vice unit?
the vice unit, and some other units, and that was not what she ran on.
No, but
And then she started peeling all this stuff away.
and what is she doing? She just made a statement that the crime that minorities commit is caused by
The white man.
the white man. She is legitimizing crime if it's done by a minority. Here again, when you reward bad behavior, folks, what in the cat hair do you expect to get more of? How simple.
Rick's on the phone
Excuse
from
me.
Salado.
Rick's going to get me calmed down, maybe, I hope. Rick, say something to kind of get me calmed down, will you?
I wish I could. On the 6th of June, I heard on Rush Limbaugh's show from him that the Democrats have removed "So Help Me God" from the oath that they take.
That's
I
what
heard
Conn
that.
was telling me, yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
And, I think it's kind of a slap in the face to all those brave men who stormed those beaches and rescued Europe from the Nazis.
Well, and I got a question. What would they replace that with, Rick? Would they replace it with, and so help me Satan?
Or Allah, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
Allah.
watermark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would please some of them.
Places like in Minnesota, they're taking "In God We Trust" off of public buildings and things like that. Are they going to replace it with "In Satan We Trust"?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, because the more I learn about the abortion industry and the things that go on in it, the more sickened I am. And they have to be Satan worshipers or something. I mean, I can't even describe what I've seen. It's so horrible.
You know,
And I'm
Rick,
glad.
will you
Yeah,
explain
go ahead.
something to me? Because I can't get my head around it. So I hear all these people, these libs and socialists and all the rest of it, all complaining about how we're taking the women's rights away and this and that, and it's black women's rights, the minorities, the impoverished, the this and that and whatever, by this abortion thing. And it's all happening in the South, and how dare us. Well, here we are trying to protect them and keep from having black genocide, protect the black people, protect the black culture, and they're saying we're doing them wrong by trying to keep that from happening.
Yeah, you try to talk to a liberal about abortion, and they just blow up. They they can't take it when you say something like, I saw a baby in the womb sucking its thumb. They don't want to hear it. They don't want they call it a fetus. They don't want to see those movies that they've made like Gosnell and Unplanned, where this woman was a bigwig in Planned Parenthood, and she witnessed an abortion, and it changed her life, and she became pro-life. And they don't want to even think about going to watch a movie like that.
Well, Rick, I don't know if you saw it or remembered it or not, but the Senate held some hearings about Planned Parenthood and abortion. This was several years ago, and a lady, a nurse from Houston, Texas, that worked in an abortion clinic, brought I think a sonogram that showed a fetus in the womb, and the fetus was reacting to the upcoming roto-rooter, whatever it is they use to destroy the babies with. But if you think that baby didn't know what it was doing, it was backed up as far as it could back up with its hands in the air or in the whatever. Because, if you saw that, how could you deny that baby was a living, breathing human being?
And it's so horrible. Some of the things I've seen that Project Veritas has exposed and stuff like that, that it's beyond words, and I'm speechless. I didn't know it was so horrible. That one doctor that confronted that pro-life protester, he sounded like he was possessed.
Yeah.
And I saw something the other day that just I just can't even describe it. It's how these people they don't even, when they do these late-term abortions, it's unspeakable. I can't describe it. I wish I could unsee it. Well, but I'll try to research it. I'll try to get y'all a link to what I saw, but you don't want to see it. Believe me, you do not want to see it.
Well, how do you call that anything but murder?
It's murder, and it's worse. It's ghoulish.
Well, now I can't quote very many scriptures out of the Bible. I know what some of them say, but and I try to avoid big, deep religious discussions. But to my memory, Grandma Conn told me that there's 2 unpardonable sins, one of which is the shedding of innocent blood. It's called murder. Well, when you kill that several-month-old baby, if that's not innocent blood, if that's not murder, pray tell me what that is.
Well, I do know one scripture that says there are like 7 things God hates or something like that, and one of them is the shedding of innocent blood. But anyway, you guys have a good day. I wish I would have been able to cheer you up, Conn, but I just could not believe what I saw, and I wish I could describe it, but I don't want to ruin everybody's day. But I'll see y'all later.
Well, thank you, Rick, for the call. Don't lose the number. I try to not get too deep in the abortion question, but man alive, I've got a big old question that haunts me every day. When they talk about removing "In God We Trust," things like any reference to God, where's all the Christians? Did all the Christians die? What happened to them? Why is it that the only pastor and preacher that I know of that's standing up and being counted is Dr. Robert Jeffers from the Dallas Baptist Church? Bless his heart, he is standing up and being counted. He's acting like a man. and he is defending Christian principles and Christianity and this Judeo-Christian country we live in. He's doing his part to protect it. But where's the rest of the pastors and preachers and all these good Christians? What happened to them? They die? Did they lose their ability to stand up and be counted? You know, the old country music song, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Well, there's a lot of pastors and preachers and good Christians. All they stand for is more money in the collection plate. They don't stand for freedom and liberty. But we got Miss Vicki on the line, and she's going to help calm me down a little bit. Huh.
I sort of kind of doubt it, but I'll give it a go.
Okay, go ahead on.
Hey, Con, I've got a question for you, strictly rhetorical. But you know how St. Jude advertises $19 a month, the Shriners Hospital, Folds of Honor, all of these legitimate charities.
Right.
Well, if Planned Parenthood is so widely supported, which, oh, by the way, is factually incorrect, if they're so widely supported, why don't they go on the air and say, please send us $19 so we can murder innocent children?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be taxpayer dollars? Because they didn't pay for me, and it's women's health. Mine was women's health, in that I had a fibroid tumor the size of a watermelon, but I had to pay for my own hysterectomy with insurance. But I don't care. I do care. That's the way I'm going to put it. It's their choice. They will answer to God for murdering a baby. I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to even, but I don't think a taxpayer dollar, if they're so wonderful, let them get it privately.
You just raised a good question, Vicki. Why is it that our tax dollars go to pay for killing a baby, but our tax dollars do not go to help pay for delivering a healthy baby? Why is that?
Absolutely.
You know,
well, now, I'll tell you what Medicaid does, because I've known several women that don't brag about it to me anymore that said they didn't get married because that way they could have their babies on Medicaid, and Medicaid would pay for it.
Well,
so there is tax funding of born babies, but this whole idea that it's a women's health, well, first of all, once that child hits 40 weeks, it can survive without mama, so it is no longer mama's health. It is strictly that they're afraid that if the camel's nose gets under the tent, which it's already done, Alabama, Georgia, a whole bunch of other places saying, we've had enough of this. They're afraid that they'll overturn Roe versus Wade, which I don't believe anybody has on the Supreme Court has the gumption to do that.
I don't think they're trying to overturn it as they're trying to get it turned back to the states.
You are absolutely correct. That's exactly what they want. And the Planned Parenthood people can't abide that because I think the latest thing I read was 36 out of 50 states would ban it.
Well, and whatever happened to the 10th Amendment, everything not covered prior to the 10th Amendment is regulated to the states and its various peoples.
Well, the Founding Fathers knew what they were talking about, but the biggest problem is, and that's why they so despise Trump, is that he's disrupting what has got to be the biggest cabal of politicians who are of no interest in anything but themselves in the history. I mean, there's always been crooked politicians, just like them saying the FBI is such a wonderful organization. Well, you get down about 4 levels, and they're absolutely correct. The FBI has been corrupt since J. Edgar Hoover.
Well, you know, there's so many things that get me stirred up.
Did I do it? Did I? Huh? Did I?
Dadgum your time, Vicki. I thought you was going to calm me down, and here you are, got me stirred up again.
Well, now I will end on a positive note. I have noticed there's a lot more coverage of these millennials that are now starting to get brave enough to stand out and say, I am a conservative and I believe in pro-life, and face the wrath of their professors and what have you. It's a little bitty groundswell right now, but...
Yeah, but that groundswell is growing, Vicki. Thank
exactly.
Goodness. And what I've noticed is the groundswell of some black people and some Hispanic people, they are starting to wake up. And
well, I think Trump put it perfectly when he said, hey, what have the Democrats done for you in the last 60 years?
Well, exactly. You know, and you talking about making a Democrat nervous. Now, when you see black folks and brown folks kind of standing up for what is reasonable and what is logical and what is common sense and what is freedom and liberty, that makes them Democrats so nervous they just can't stand it.
Well, I heard one call in to a show the other day, and he was from Lubbock, I think it was, and he said that he had lots. He was Hispanic. He said that he had lots and lots of Hispanic, very well educated, conservative friends. But he also had he had a lot of Democrat ones, and he said that he was going to vote against Cornyn in the primary. He was a primary voter. I mean, he's educated as far as voting.
Who's running against Cornyn besides Hagar?
I don't know, but that's the problem. Do you really want her in there instead?
No, I don't, but I'm not about to run because having been married 5 times, they'll try to fillet me, and then my language will get bad, and they won't let me run.
Oh, come on, Vicki. Just jump in there.
But still, I mean, that's the problem. If you don't have anybody that has enough gumption to vote against, like Carter and Cornyn and all these others, and now Ted Cruz has kind of gone sideways, what are you left with? We can't put more Democrats in.
Tina, that is what they are counting on. Incumbency is the strongest thing there is as far as getting reelected, and they don't think that anybody will primary them, and so they'll just go along their merry little way. It takes somebody. What happened to John Dean running?
Yeah, well, some other things came up.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anybody with good sense, I mean, no offense, would not run. But the thing is, Con, you're talking about the leftists not understanding or not listening to common sense. That's talking Martian to them.
Yeah, it is. It is, Vicki, and it's isn't that a sad statement that they don't have enough brains to comprehend logic and common sense and rational thinking? Isn't that a sad commentary?
Well, and not only that, they're this new budget, this multi-billion, trillion-dollar budget, right? They're supposed to get a 2.6 pay increase.
$4,600 per representative.
And now they want it to be 3.7% or something. Well, they don't need to be getting nothing. They need to be docked.
I can put a stop to all of that by the only way they get a raise is that it's on a presidential ballot, yay or nay. They would never get a raise again as long as they lived.
Well, I think fairly often about a fellow named Sam Rayburn. He was Speaker of the House in Texas for, 20-something years, long time. When he died, do you know what his personal fortune was, Vicki?
Oh, he was a billionaire.
No, it was less than $15,000.
Oh, then I've been reading the wrong stories.
Yeah, he was a statesman. He was not a politician.
Key phrase. Well stated.
Yeah,
Vicki, we're getting ready to have to go to a hard break. So
today
I do that to you every time, don't I?
Well, Vicki, we appreciate your call, and thank you for cheering me up and getting me thinking positive.
Well, at least I got you smile, and if I've done that, then my day is complete. God bless you. God bless Donald Trump, and most of all, God save him.
Yes, God protects Donald Trump.
Okay, talk to you all later.
We're going to a break, y'all.